I guess that was somebody in my chat that just randomly joined. I don't.
Oh.
I'm surprised somebody can just join me like that because they're not on my friends list.
Well, that's the thing. I always notice
Weird.
on Steam, you get random notifications where someone added you to their friends list, someone added you to their friends list, and I go, wait a minute, I should be able to veto that. I don't know who they are. It's like
I know, yeah. There's like 2 levels of confirmation. It's like, shouldn't there only be 1?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pro tip for anybody watching this: never ever join your favorite streamer unless they say so beforehand. You're just going to make them mad, and even if they're not your favorite streamer, still don't do it.
Yeah, don't even go on your least favorite streamer.
Yeah, like you wouldn't walk up to someone at a park while they're having a picnic and just sit down.
Yeah,
and just stare at
weird.
them.
Oh my god,
At their picnic table.
Who do you think you are, Yogi Bear? You get out of this picnic.
I had a friend who said she was at a picnic with her mom. They were having like sandwiches, and this lady comes up and just stands next to them for like a very long time. And finally, they're like, and she's like, a woman shouldn't have to ask.
For what?
A sandwich.
For a sandwich?
So they gave her one of their sandwiches so she'd go away because she was being really scary.
Oh, it was like a really entitled homeless person?
I guess this is back in Tulsa, and I was surprised to hear that.
There's never anything that surprises me about Tulsa.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, if it happened here, I'd be less surprised because of all the people.
Because of all the what, Moose? Go ahead, say it.
I do
aggressive
admit,
homeless people.
I was squeezing Wander's hand really, really tightly on our way back to the train after outrage because of all the people. There's this one person that was just slurring their words, and they were going, "Do you wanna?" What was it? Wander, you probably remember.
Wanna help me get drunk tonight?
Yeah, that was what they said.
Oh god.
I wasn't even looking up. I was just like looking down at the street. I was looking down at the street because there was nothing but spit and unknown liquids everywhere. And I was just like, I'm going to be wary about what I'm stepping on and try not to make eye contact with anyone.
I remember one time I
don't
was
provoke
going
them.
home from outrage, and I was like really tired and a little tipsy. And this guy walks by me and he's like, "Hey, you got a lighter?" And I try to say no, sorry.
That.
And instead all I go is, and he just walks away going, F you! And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
My favorite homeless person thing I saw was just a few months ago. I was at a grocery store and this lady was outside being like, "Hey, can I have a cigarette?" And before anyone could respond, she starts being like, "It's okay, they just told me I don't cancer. I don't even have cancer. You can give me cigarettes. You won't give me cancer because I don't have it."
That's never been a thought on my mind. Like, I've never smoked before, so like usually I just say no, sorry, and they get a little. Mostly, actually, to be fair, no one's gotten offended by it since we moved to Portland. But no, I've never been like, dude, come on, do you want cancer?
It's just odd because maybe
about
in
it.
movies you see people randomly saying, "Do
that
you have a
laser
light?" But
Sucks.
here, yeah, when we were waiting at
help.
the subway, well, not the subway stop, the tram stop, yeah, a lady asked us if we had a
I guess
lighter
they sent
or a cigarette or
fodder
something. We're
towards
just
that.
like, nope, sorry, we don't smoke. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of smokers here.
tons of smokers.
Like when we first moved here, I'm like, it literally feels like the 90s again.
yeah.
It felt way worse in
Well,
Kansas. Like,
it's-
Kansas
really?
had a lot of smokers. Like, we'd be walking around our apartment complex, and it was just like...
Well, they still allowed smoking, but then just as we were ready to leave, all the good things happened just when we're ready to leave. They decided to ban smoking at all. Before, people could do it on their balconies, but it would still creep upstairs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's it was like a really, really long struggle we had with one of our nearby neighbors. Once they legalized weed, it was like we couldn't open our windows in the summer, and like you know, after a summer night, you want to open your windows at night to get cooled off and stuff, and we just literally couldn't because they were just like going nuts right down the stairs, and I've been complaining about it forever. Just being like, can you guys do something? Like, we just can't. It makes us sick. Like, we're not trying to be like, you know, debutantes and whiny about it. Like, it just makes us sick to our stomachs. And then I just said the word, I said the word asthma, and then suddenly management was like, oh, and then we've never smelled smoke again. Like, I don't know what they said to the neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
they
I
did
think
spend a smoking ban last year.
No,
which
they
is
put
great.
what? That didn't change anything. That's like it was,
It's
they finally only stopped like
Are you talking about
maybe
the
2 weeks
recent?
ago.
That's right, yeah.
Are you listening to this conversation?
Yes.
Because
So-
no, the smoke ban went into effect over a year ago, but they only just finally got them to stop smoking all the time like a week ago. But it's been a great time since then. Bro, you got lasers.
Yeah, we had to deal with that when we were in New York. We had a
Well, that apartment still apparently allowed people to smoke indoors,
yeah,
but it was...
they didn't care about indoors, and no, they allowed people to smoke on the balcony too, and they're just like, well, tough. Problem is, our AC unit was directly above
Yeah, I
the
told them.
neighbor's
Oh, no,
balcony.
so like sucked it in.
Yeah, so we couldn't have our AC on because it would just shove it all in, and I'm like, look, I'm partially
But
asthmatic,
that was
and I have
also
like,
the family that had the crazy kid that was screaming all
oh
day
god.
long.
So
Good.
It was.
this
It was
this
like
was
a
one of
kid
those
who
like
should have been in
nightmare.
kindergarten, but he was screaming constantly. I mean, maybe there was something wrong, like
Yeah, maybe a development thing, but
right, but
like,
yeah, just
you
just
would
at the
just
store or something. Like
you would
that.
just hear the child screaming for hours,
Temper
and
tantrums.
there was no like stopping him.
And the interesting thing was our one of our roommates, she ended up moving into an apartment that was diagonal from that one, but so like still upstairs but over one. And like she said that 2 more people had moved into our old apartment and promptly left. And the management finally asked her, "Hey, did you live above those people?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they're like, are they disturbing everyone? Is there this...
Yeah, the
like,
management finally gave a shit after like 4 people cycled in and out of that one apartment.
Oh my god,
like,
they
that's
finally
bad.
they finally had to kick the family out because
It's so sad it would take that to get them to like put the couple of brain cells together. It would take to be like,
Oh,
yeah,
this
taking
was-
care of tenants makes you lose other tenants.
This
Like
was
you lose a
definitely
little money,
like
but come on.
this is definitely a little bit more slummy than I think I had expected it would be going into it.
Yeah.
And so like the
it has a
one,
beautiful walk next to the canal though.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful apartment, but like they did not care, so it
I wouldn't be
dropped
surprised if
hard.
our old apartment in Kansas hasn't started considering banning dogs at some point.
Oh god, yeah. When we left, we would go on a walk and there'd be like 40 some odd pieces of dog shit just like
Oh,
on the
gross.
I think
on
we
the
told
path.
you guys that they would send out the letters saying, if we find out anyone's leaving it on the ground, we're gonna evict you, or
Uh-oh.
something like that. And actually, when we were looking at places around here to rent, we had considered apartments again, but we figured that maybe we'd want to have a little bit more separation. Not that that's really
Done
helped
us
with some
any
of the
good.
noise problems, but one of the apartments that we had looked at around here had no dogs allowed, and I'd asked that, "Oh, I noticed that you guys don't have dogs allowed," and they're like, "Yeah, what happened was people were leaving the poop everywhere." And I was like, "Yep, that would do it."
I never understand cat bans though. Like, what did a cat do to you that you're
Like,
like, no
cat
cats
ban.
allowed?
Cat dander lasts. So like if
yeah.
you're allergic to it and you go into an apartment that that has had a cat in it, it can be like a serious health complication. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't just ban it because
I've heard of them doing it for carpeting too.
Yep.
Because if there's any urine or anything left behind, I know that cats tend to be better about keeping things inside a litter box and such, but supposedly those things not only ruin the carpets, but the undermatting and sometimes even the wood underneath. And
Oh right, because yeah, cat pee doesn't come out like at all easily.
Yeah, we had an old cat in Tulsa, and it took like she like went in my closet once, and I basically just had to like basically like bleach it and put baking soda and like all this stuff like constantly. I only got most of it out.
I made some glowy portals
pretty
for
bad,
your
though.
laser butts.
Did you just say laser butts?
I think just in general, the reason why some apartments might
R-A-T-F.
try to have animal bans is
We
just
have
so
to
that they
unscramble
keep
that?
things just a little bit more cleanly. And
Yeah.
maybe to avoid the allergy issues.
For sure. I just love cats.
For me, it's kind of hit and miss. It depends on the cat. We've seen a lot of nice kitties outside on our walks. They're the
Yeah, the
kind
cats
that,
around here are adorable.
I noticed that
Aw.
everyone has little bells on them. I think that's a nice touch because you don't want them killing birds and such. So you see a lot of cats with little bells around their necks, and
Oh, there we go.
they come up to you and they go and
Was that not
rub
the
around your
password?
legs, and then they roll over. We've seen so many cats that roll over and
on.
want side belly rubs. And I know that's usually a, just try to touch my belly and I'll scratch you, but these ones actually
Oh man,
enjoy it.
So say it. Fine, it's
I can never pet Achilles' belly. They won't let me.
I pet Maymay's belly, and she always looks like she's trying really hard not to murder me.
Does she do
Her
like
eyes
the little tail flick at the end? Like,
Yeah, and her eyes get like really big and black.
Did somebody
Oh, I
say
level up.
fart? What a stinky thing to say!
Okay. After almost an hour, Shell,
okay.
we are transferring areas.
All right, let's see
Oh,
if I can
yes.
actually log in
Yeah,
and
get in
help you
game.
guys.
We're transferring.
Try and get
Hello from the other side.
in.
Maybe, hopefully.
And if this doesn't work, I don't know.
I've tried to load 1,000 times. Maybe I will enter the game. We'll see.
Lemon fart.
Or perhaps it'll
The
just be the
sorcerer's tower in
same.
sight. You think of what you're going to
Food
spend
and
your
apple.
reward
Ooh.
money on once
I don't
you
know.
rescue the queen.
Let's
Look at
see.
all them dwarven flags.
Dwarves.
sometimes dudes.
Okay, wait. Things might be okay. Might.
I
Let's
hope.
see. Let's see. 30 seconds.
I'm
Okay.
gonna level up.
Things are looking good.
Jelly Moon has joined the struggle.
Yay! It really was just the mine.
Yeah, that one
That's-
area.
That's a huge area for them to just. Ah, man, that's crazy.
I am here.
Hmm.
Okay, yes. So, what's this castle? I assume that this
This
is the
is
mine.
Dragon Keep.
And this is the Dragon
So I
Keep.
think we're actually pretty close to the end.
Oh.
I could
okay.
be wrong. Oh, it's orcs again. Oh no.
Oh no.
Repeat from last time.
Oh, he is not having that.
What now?
An orc berserker.
Yeah.
I would love to play like a cooperative sort of Dungeons and Dragons game like this.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
well, obviously with wielding swords and bows and stuff
Yeah.
as opposed to guns.
but like all of them are MMOs, and it sucks for me a little bit because I don't want to play an MMO. They're too long.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
if there's like Dragon Age but multiplayer.
Yeah. I was actually really
really cool.
surprised with stuff like Dragon Age Inquisition. They added multiplayer, but no campaign multiplayer for some
Oh.
strange reason.
Dumb.
So, what was the multiplayer in?
You would just it was like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Which, speaking of, yeah, why didn't Mass Effect 3 have?
Many thanks.
Wasn't that just
what?
an arena shooter?
Yeah,
or
it was.
something?
It was just
Dang
like
Yeah.
wave fighting, but like let me just play as Garrus in somebody else's session. Why not?
Yeah. Come on.
Because
Yeah.
I would have bought multiple copies of
That
Mass
would've been-
Effect 3.
Yeah, 3-player multiplayer for that.
It seems like the industry is kind of wising up to that, because like we have a bunch of 3-player co-op games coming out this next year, which does suck for
Yeah.
everybody a little bit. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think to go back to the discussion that you've been having about why 3 versus 4.
it's easier to
think-
get 3 people.
Well, I think 4 is probably
Cameron's got a third
from
wheel.
board games. If you think about it.
Probably.
Oh, also you had talked about the girlfriend
In the sky.
business.
It looks like the hand
Oh,
of
yes,
sorcerers
yes.
catapulted
Yeah.
some orcs to fight
Heads
you.
up, Chad got a
We should
girlfriend.
have a reality show called Who Will Be Moose and Joe's Third Wheel.
Was that heads
are
up?
you-
Chad got
are
a
we looking-
girlfriend.
What?
Are we looking for a third person now, Moose?
Yeah, we're looking for who will be our third wheel.
I mean,
to
we have.
play all
Oh,
our
sorry,
games
that's a
with.
good person. Well, we have a kid. I know she would very much be upset if we got a third person without asking her if she wanted it. Dude, she won't stop asking me if we can do a Minecraft stream, and I was like, maybe. Like, the plan right now is tentatively to do Minecraft on Thursday's morning stream after I play Digimon World Next Order.
Yeah, I noticed on your YouTube channel you actually played a lot of games with her. That was nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier now because she can actually pay attention for, you know, sizable amount of time.
Did you chat about Lily's creepy RPG planning?
Creepy RPG. Oh, I think she'd be upset if I told people about that, but now that you brought it up, there's no going back. So this morning I woke up Lily, and I was like, Lily, get up, and she rolled over, and this sticky note was attached to her face.
Oh.
And I picked up the sticky note, and what did the sticky note said? It said sacrifice him, or it said sacrifice his body. What did it say, Moose?
I don't remember.
It said
really
something
funny.
it was like sacrifice his body at the altar.
Well, I was tucking her into bed last night, and she had like these post-it notes all around her bed.
I'm like, okay, I've heard about this. Like sometimes, you know, your kids says something weird. Wasn't it like one of Lily's friends? Their mom said that their kid had a similar thing. And they there was like a dead Barbie doll like hanging in the window, and it had a sign
posted
said
on Facebook her kid, and this is like the nicest like little, you know, like suburb family, and the mom was like, oh, my kids are hilarious, and like the daughter, like, who's very quiet and sweet, put a Barbie doll with like a noose around its neck, and it was naked and its hair is all messed up, like in their window, and wrote like in red ink, "You're next."
Yeah.
And I was like, so cute. Your kid's totally not gonna murder you.
So I messaged Moose about this, being like, what the F? What is this? Am I gonna die? And she's like, oh, haha, it's planning for her RPG Maker game. And I'm like, you're so nonchalant about this only because it says his body. It doesn't say her body. But like, I'm spooked.
Is she making an RPG Maker game?
Yeah.
She really likes messing around with it.
I did that when I was a kid. It was awesome.
Oh man, I played RPG Maker.
I've seen so many on
2000
Steam.
so much. And then my mom noticed I was getting too into it, and she was like, "You're grounded. Delete it." And I lost like a full summer's worth of video game.
God, you're.
Hey Moose, can you grab me?
Oh yeah.
No.
So I
grab
was
shell.
Thanks.
She's just about to die. Okay, grab
I was
shell.
making RPG Maker games,
Thanks.
but my mother had like a moratorium, like you could only play like 2 hours of video games a day, which kind of sucked because I'd usually be done with my homework in an hour, and then it would be like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Eventually she laxed up on that, but this is still when she had all the restrictions. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try and make games then. And my mother's like, that counts as playing games. And I'm like,
God, yeah.
God damn it.
You need more time to make a game per day than actually, like, 2 hours is hardly enough time to do anything.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, who dare? There's something in... Oh, God, there's a monster over here called the Darkness.
We got an hour a day until I was about
Come over here, look at this.
13.
There's just a hole and it says the Darkness. And I guess we can...
Darkness. Kill the darkness.
I got to turn a really creepy part of our basement into my gaming room, and it was pretty sweet.
A really creepy what?
A really creepy part of our basement.
Ah.
And it was like an old, I think it was originally a laundry room, but it just looked horrifying. But I think my mom just kind of wanted to have parties, so she was like, here, this is your game room now. And I was like, sweet!
That sounds
and
awesome.
it put like an old TV, my N64 in there, and that is where I spilled soda all over my N64 controller. So I was like, no one's here to see me drinking soda and playing video games at the same time.
Don't we still have that controller?
We do, it's still
and
sticky.
It sucks. Yes. I was like, why is this controller bad? I think we did a stream with that one, actually. We were playing Pokemon Stadium 2.
Oh, I love that
And
one.
I think I got the crap controller, and that's why I lost anything.
Uh-huh. I'm so sad I lost my Pokemon Snap, though. It was a great game.
Holy cow, this gun is actually better, and I have not been using it.
I've always wanted to play Pokemon Snap, but I keep holding out that they'll make another one.
I know. Why did they not do it with like the Wii U
or the Wii U? Like both of those would have been amazing.
You have the camera right there. Like, it makes so much sense.
What's interesting was, weren't there specific machines that you could bring your cartridge to and print off your photos?
Yeah, we had one of those at the local
stickers.
Blockbuster. It was awesome.
I remember begging my mom to take me to do that, and she never did.
You could also do that with the Game Boy camera at one point, I believe.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
I remember, like, I totally had like the Game Boy printer that you could buy for the Game Boy camera. I
Yeah.
remember the day I
Terrible.
lost it was because I took a picture. I took an unflattering picture of a girl in my elementary school named Emily, and she was
Aw.
like, "Delete that picture," and I was like, "Nope." And so then I printed it off on my Game Boy printer, and I showed it to her, and she got super mad. And then
Oh.
mysteriously, my Game Boy camera and printer were stolen by the end of the day, and I never saw it again.
Ooh.
There was never justice for Joe.
Hell had no fury like a girl insecure.
So not exactly in the same vein, but I had my parents used to take me to a church group, and there was this one kid that was always just an absolute like dickwad. Like nothing justified his
Always.
behavior. He was just a mean dude. And so one day we went to like one of those like weekend retreat kind of things, like 3 days there, stay in like kind of the local hotel and do a bunch of Bible study stuff that was really
Oh,
boring
man,
and
did
kind of
that, yeah.
confusing. And so for whatever reason we had to give this kid a ride, and so
no.
he was in the back of the car, I was in the front. And he brought his Game Boy Advance and all of his games along to brag.
Thanks.
He didn't even want to play them. He just
What?
wanted to show them off.
Oh, that's
course.
annoying.
Like this is what this kid would do. And so he pulled out all of his games,
fine.
spread them all over, and was like, "Man, check out all my games." And then for some reason never like put them away properly, so he just freaking left them in our car.
And then you had all the games.
And it was like a lot of games. And I was like, okay, well, this is fine, but you're gonna have to come get them because we're moving in a week. And, like, not across the country, but up to Massachusetts. Like, we don't have time to deliver this to you, and I don't know where you live, and I don't even like you that much, so I don't want to put that much effort in returning your
Yeah.
stuff.
No.
And he's like, yeah,
got
you know, I'll be by like X day to pick them up. And X day rolls around and we're like, okay, where are you? And he's like, oh yeah, I didn't feel like coming. I'm like, okay.
But he just
well,
not take you seriously? He's just
Yeah, I don't know, but like, I more or less said like, okay, but you're gonna have to come by like the day we're moving out to pick them up because like, I can't bring them to you. I'm in middle school. 2, like, my parents aren't even here anymore because they're like. My dad was already up in Massachusetts at that point. My mother was way too busy to give some like dick kid his Game Boy Advance games. So yeah, we just moved out with all of his games because his mother or father or he just never bothered to come get them? Question mark. And so I have like multiple copies of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance for some ungodly reason.
That's too bad for the kid, but
Schadenfreude
also
felt
for
so
their
good.
flippancy, you know. I guess that's just what you get.
So I was that girl with the camera thing.
Oh,
Zero
okay.
just say thank you for saving a not so innocent life. What?
Probably.
That's the most DeviantArt poem I've ever heard.
What is this guy doing?
Did you guys see everyone making fun of Elon Musk for doing like a very dark a profile picture on Twitter?
He was
No.
in trouble lately, actually.
Oh,
was
yeah,
he?
about the art thing, and then
About the art
after all
thing.
the
Yeah.
backlash, he made his Avi completely black. He's like, I deleted my Twitter account.
Yeah.
Such a baby.
And
Yeah,
everyone was making fun of him.
'cause
Like, I just wanted to make cool cars.
He said nobody deserves credit or something like
Well,
that.
So what it was he
Yeah,
posted
yeah.
some artwork of 2B from Nier Automata that someone had made, and of course people are like, "Hey, please credit the artist," and he goes just simply, "No," and
he
then
says
they
no.
go, and then they go,
What a
but
jerk."
this, and then he goes on to say, "This is why." Twitter and an art aesthetic is, going down the tubes because, it's ruining the aesthetic to have to credit artists, and this is something that anybody should be able to look up in 10 seconds, which is ironic because if he's dissing people for saying, essentially what he's trying to legitimize is he doesn't believe he should credit people because people should just be able to, reverse image search the image and find out who credited it themselves.
Like, kind
At
of
which
like kill the aesthetic.
At the same time,
I mean, I
isn't
think
that
like
saying that
the
he
second
should-
tweet, like in between those tweets, he was also the thing he had said after the person said like "but" to the no. He was like, "No one will ever find it. Like no one will ever."
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
no one ever will find out. No one ever will know.
What?
He was just being extremely
What a
flippant. He was
psycho.
just trying to. You could tell he very much thought himself like a cool guy. He was like, oh, come on.
That's like what Shia LaBeouf
I'm like
did
the
a few years
Fawn.
ago.
I'm like backhanding this.
Yeah,
gift box.
Elon Musk would be an absolute persona non grata if he wasn't crazy wealthy and like head of one of the largest innovation companies in the world right now.
I have like a
Yeah.
love-hate for him because he is doing a lot of good things with all of his money, but he's so unlikable.
He just needs somebody to sit him down and be like, Elon, get off Twitter.
But
like,
also,
Yeah.
he's had issues with artists before because didn't he include in one of his Tesla vehicles some artwork on one of its
yeah, he's
like,
done.
computerized
He's
systems?
committed art theft before.
And
Oh
the person's like, yo, you need to credit me for my artwork or pay me a licensing fee for programming this thing into your vehicles.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no.
No.
Firestar in our
found
chat
it.
says he should remove any trademark he has on Tesla. People can just find it.
Yeah. Seriously. That's what I'm thinking, like. Also, I saw a Tesla once and it's like the weirdest car.
There are so many Teslas
It's like
around
so
here.
empty.
Isn't it kind of weird though? Like you see any of the replies to any of his tweets where people are like razzing on him about it, and it's like Chris Brown levels of people just insanely defending him.
Yeah.
People being like, "Oh, Elon Musk, don't
Well,
quit
it's
Twitter.
celebrity
You're the reason I
worship.
wake up
I
in the
mean-
morning." It's
Oh
like,
my.
You should have seen how many people that were like super like, oh my god, Steve Jobs when Steve Jobs died. He's like, he is the perfect man. You know, let's worship him.
Was
and I'm
he
like,
the
Steve
most
Jobs is an
uncharitable?
asshole. Like I know Wozniak,
Ooh.
and like that guy deserved so much of what Steve Jobs stole from him, and it makes me mad
Yeah.
still.
Who was the girl that went on YouTube and just had a video of her crying and the title was like Steve Jobs died today?
Oh, that was
that Tannen?
Flash from the Past. No, Justine.
Oh.
It was just like a video of her at a
That's
diner, just
right.
like
That
crying
was
about
so
it. It was like a,
awkward.
want to put this video out as soon as it happened. Like people reacted badly to it because it was really scummy.
Yeah, it's pretty like
Yeah.
Like the man just died. You're clearly just trying to like get up at the top of the search ranks with it. Felt pretty scum.
I think I was pretty sad when Total Biscuit died, but I wasn't about to sit down and like
yeah,
write anything
like-
about that. I was just like, he was one of my like 5 inspirations for starting a YouTube channel, and poof, gone. It freaking
Yeah.
sucks. Still
It was
does.
really sad. It was so sad. I actually didn't realize that his cancer was like straight up hopelessly terminal until only like a couple months or so beforehand. And I was like, oh my god, yeah. And then he just totally was gone.
Yeah, well, they
like,
expected
you
you to
know,
have more
like,
time.
Love or
'cause he
hate the
went off
guy,
of-
he was a good, sensible, like middling kind of person, and like he would
Most of
actually
the time.
treat
He
he would
definitely-
treat just about every situation like
Whoa.
he would actually hear stuff out, and
Yeah,
he
this is
never
very
encouraged
true.
people to like go after people or mob people. He would like
He
discourage
did have
the hell
a
out
couple
them.
of points that I didn't like. Like specifically, I think he
Oh,
got
sure.
he told somebody to like, I hope you get cancer and die or something like that. It's
Oh,
just like,
people found that tweet after.
yeah, and then people have been like retweeting it that to
Oh,
like take
yeah,
him
yeah,
down
yeah.
ever since, and it's just like, I mean, it sucks that he did it, and it's very much like a character weakness, but comparatively, dude was pretty good.
Oh yeah. No, when he died, there's a trans woman I follow named Laura Kate Dale, and she was actually coming out to kind of like tut on the people who were just being like, oh, who cares? He did this. He said this. And she was like, I remember the time that I got like the crosshairs of some of his lesser evolved fandom were put on me, and he was telling them like, stop that, like quit that, and he was like messaging her being like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, like, you know, let's plan this out, let's fix this, like, let's be strategic about this. Like,
What
he really
did
he
the
really
fans say about her, though? Well, I mean, maybe
Well,
not
so
any specifics.
Total
just-
Biscuit had a lot of people that thought he was some kind of like ally of gatekeeping when he very much was not, and that includes like also misogyny and a bunch of other things,
Ew.
and especially like anti-trans, homophobia,
Yeah.
you know, so on and so forth. And Total Biscuit very much was not one of those people, but they still like hyped him up as some kind of champion of it.
that sucks.
I think
He was
it's-
not happy about
I think
that.
it's something most male YouTubers probably deal with at some point. where they just think, whoa, you know, you're a bro, you're a guy, you're awesome, you like guy things, and you support guys. And it's like, well, actually, I'm also, you know, a feminist, and I believe in this and thus. And then they're like, no, our
I kind
image
of
of
just
you
want
is...
to be a nice person, like, you know.
I like people.
I can like Hearthstone and people.
Yeah, I love Hearthstone.
Right, and then they get bent out of shape because
I can't
they're like,
stand
oh, you're
Hearthstone.
not as cool as I thought you were because you... And it's like, well, sorry that
You're
image
not
of
a
me is
dick, so
shattering.
you're not cool now. No.
And that's the thing I don't understand either. Yeah, people that idolize that kind of behavior.
And it's just
Yeah.
troll
Suppose they just
behavior.
design
I mean,
Somebody tell me.
even people who kind of like do that persona, like they kind of have that energy. Like at the end of the day, they're usually not heartless people, but people that watch them take them at face value. And it's very easy to watch YouTubers, and I don't know, people just, I assume viewers just tend to blur the line between like what's real and I don't know what's like off-cam stuff. Also, why are we all on fire?
Because
Oh,
That
no.
might have been my
exploding
fault.
barrels
I
and
apologize.
other things.
I threw my
Here it
grenade, which
comes.
apparently explodes into a
Moose,
shit ton
save
of fire.
Oh
Trying.
no! I'm
Thank
just gonna
you.
slash this guy in the butt.
I'm gonna wait. Why can't I?
Thanks.
Oh, there we go.
Got a second win. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh, you
God.
bad
Nice.
knight.
I had somebody tell me very emphatically that they liked me better when I swore more.
Don't you
That's
love
kinda
that kind of
weird.
crap? When someone thinks it's like totally appropriate to reach out and be like, "You used to be funnier when you did this."
I did that once,
Uh,
and I kind of regret it. I had a friend who went on like this big weight loss kick, but his personality pulled like a 180, kind of. Where he, like,
What was he
lost a
talking
ton-
down other people?
Well, yeah, he
We've
lost a
had
lot
that.
of weight, but he got like really judgmental and nasty.
That happens to a
Oh.
lot of people, I've noticed.
Yeah, Moose and I have a friend, more of Moose's like family friend that did that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's like, it's bad in both directions though, because you obviously you don't want to do that thing where it's like, what was that Mad TV comedian who lost a bunch of weight and then people were mad
Will
about it?
Sasso, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, dude, you're not funny anymore because you're not fat.
Ow.
Oh,
He did
where
a great
are you?
skit about it.
Where's
It's
where?
fine.
He comes
Oh,
out.
no.
I was outside.
He got digitized.
It's okay.
I
But
absolutely
yeah, so-
love Will Sasso's skit about that, where he runs out and he's doing the same jokes and no one's laughing. He's like, "No, guys, wait!" And he like runs back and eats
Yeah,
like, a whole bunch
he
of
goes
donuts.
he
and
goes to the
stuff.
craft table and he just eats everything and he comes back out all fat.
You guys were right next to the res station. Awesome.
But no,
but-
Wander, you were still in the middle of that story. Go.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
sorry.
so effectively he was talking about, like, how much, like, life is better for him and so on and so forth, and I'm like, I don't know, you seem more miserable now. And, like, this is in between him being, like, the worst friend ever to me, so, like, I don't know if that actually sealed the deal on our friendship, or if it was already dead at that point. But it definitely was
Yeah.
one of those where I was just like, well, that was my piece to say, I will never speak to you again. And pretty much didn't.
No,
But
I
it
get
was-
that though. Like it could change people. Like yeah, we know a guy that did the same thing. Like, like I said, on the flip side, you don't want to be one of those people that's like, no, be fat again. But no, he lost weight and he started just being like a total
Oh, there he is.
friggin' like uppity butthead.
I think it's
And
more
no one
just
wanted
like
to be around him.
when somebody like achieves something, because I've known a couple of people that also got like really good jobs or like did really
Yeah.
well on YouTube, and then suddenly they became like a giant egoist. And you're like, oh,
Uh-huh.
Oh yes, I know
Probably
some people.
people's, the self... Whoa, Mimic! Ah!
I hear it. I don't see it, but I heard
Did
it.
you say
oh,
almanac?
ugh, gross
Oh,
thing.
it is
No, whoa,
gross.
Mimic.
So much.
Oh, don't eat me! Don't eat me!
So many teeth.
Yeah, unfortunately, when people get successful, that's when you, in one way or another, that's how you find out who
And
they
don't
really are.
anyone listening to me talk right now, don't get me wrong. Don't act like I'm up here being like, I would be a complete angel. Like, I know full well that there's like about a 35% chance that if I found success and wealth, it would probably make me a terrible person. You know? Like, I'd love to say I'm not that kind of person, but I don't want to give myself the chance, you know?
I think it would just stress me out.
We've
Like, I
thought
think if I
about
was a
it.
billionaire,
think
I'd
that's
just
the first
quietly
step, like-
retire and disappear.
Well, but isn't that the you'd maybe think maybe that's the way? It's like at first you're just stressed out by it and all of the attention, and eventually become so aware of how there are people that's trying to get close to you for your money and stuff, and then maybe that's what turns you into a total asshole. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, the larger I get
Doesn't
on
that happen to
YouTube,
lottery
I do
winners?
get a little bit like snippier with
Ah!
people. about stuff. So, Wander, have you played Hollow Knight yet? Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like if something becomes, if it's an exhausting topic for you, that just makes sense.
Wander, do you know about lighthouses in Forager?
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad because I shouldn't lose my cool, but I do.
Oh yeah, see, like Shadika in chat says, Joe will get rich, hoard virtual pets like a goblin, and refuse to leave his house. That would seriously be me.
Oh my God,
Because I
that'd
could
be
pay
it.
someone to
I love
take
that
me to school, and
description.
then they would go the one time a day I'm forced to go outside.
They'd be like, Joe, we can afford a house now, and you're like building a house.
I would be like,
So, kind of on that topic-ish, I don't think I'm gonna go. But I got an invite to go down to Anime Expo to meet with the Digimon people again, and I'm like, I want to go down to an anime convention just for one thing.
yeah. Well, yeah,
Also,
especially if
that's
you're not really
LA.
much into anime otherwise.
I am into anime, I just don't like anime conventions, because there's nothing there for me. 'Cause it's like,
Really?
let's look at the...
I've never
Let's
been
look
to an
at-
anime convention.
Didn't you go to Tokyo and Tulsa?
I went to Tokyo and Tulsa, but that was, I know, okay,
Wait.
so our friend Lila, her mom is the one that founded it, and
Oh, really?
I only went to it the first 2 years of its opening, and the first 2 years they didn't have enough clout to actually get any anime stuff there, and so it was literally just like a Dungeons and Dragons convention kind of
It's
thing.
pretty big now.
Well, it wasn't
though.
even Dungeons and Dragons. It was basically like a tiny Ren fair, and I just wasn't feeling. I was like, oh, I thought there was gonna be like anime and stuff, and I don't know if I'd exactly call that an anime convention.
I'm always impressed. Every year I see more and more big names talking about Tokyo and Tulsa, and I'm like, what the crap? There was nothing there when we lived there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad for Tulsa. Like,
No,
it's good.
it's
I'm
good
sure it's
for
good for
them.
them. But yeah, like now Tokyo and Tulsa is an actual proper anime convention.
Yeah, and it looks awesome,
But,
and I'm kind of jealous. Like, I'm not even that into
I know,
anime,
I know.
but it just looks really fun.
Yeah, they get
Yeah,
like
it-
proper full voice actors to show up and do panels and stuff.
yeah.
I'm
Like,
actually kind of
Strong,
surprised you've
Riddle.
never done an anime convention.
Our convention
seeing
at
as,
our
like, you
college
could sell your fan
had to
art.
limit people. Yeah,
Now. Perhaps I could.
I go to conventions to sell
That-
artwork.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's where I worked for a summer at a medical lab,
Whoa.
and I made like some money. I guess I was getting paid like $12 an hour. I made half
That's
of
not
that
bad.
much in one weekend at Anime Boston, just selling.
And that was when we had nothing. But then again, Anime Boston's hellish to get into.
Yeah, Anime
Oh, yeah.
Boston's a pain in the ass to get into.
Though
but like,
they switched to a lottery system. It's not first come first serve anymore. So you don't have to wait refreshing a page on the internet for hours on end, only to
good.
have it crash on you. Most of the conventions I do are judged though, so you get let in if they like your work.
I'm just surprised considering like you do a lot of gaming fan art. And it's like, yeah, that could probably work.
Yeah, maybe so. If I go, I probably want to go once I build up
Buttons.
some
People like buttons.
merch and stuff for like the virtual pet stuff. But yeah, definitely I know fan art's pretty much the only way to like make any money if you're an unknown.
Actually, I've steered completely away from fan art because I do dislike the whole like copyright issues, and I'm like, you know what? I'm making my own universe, and I would feel bad if someone just
The real
started
answer is
selling my
buttons
artwork.
sell like hotcakes.
Yeah,
Everything
buttons.
else doesn't
People
matter.
love buttons. But prints too, prints of various sizes, and if you have any like buy two get one free deal, or for buttons I do the like $2 a piece or 3 for $5, and people are always like, ooh, I know which two I like, but now I'll have to look through your entire collection and determine what my third choice is. And
Yeah.
They
That's
do
smart.
all that stuff, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really like anime conventions and boothing at tables. It can be tiring though.
Yeah, no, I'd go like after going to PAX for a couple years. Like, I'm just kind of done with conventions unless I can go with the right people. I just gotta like, you know, find a few. What?
Oh,
God,
she
what's
jumped
happening?
down.
Sorry, I fell. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just got scared.
Oh no, that was pretty much the entire sentiment. Like, I'll go back to conventions. I just gotta like, I
The
don't
thing
know.
is, if you
Find the right
table at a
people to go with.
convention, then you don't go anywhere.
It's true.
You look
Like,
after.
Oh, I'd love to join you guys, but I gotta watch my booth.
Oh, I'm gonna spend money on that.
Pretty sure it's Anna's endgame.
Hmm?
Oh, Anna, because she always has a booth. Like maybe that's her in-game
Oh, so
just
she can
to
just, like,
Oh,
stay
but
at a booth.
She is promoting usually like a game or something, right?
Yeah. I'm just
Nice,
saying,
nice.
but she
Arcade
can stay at a
Spirits.
booth.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It can be really chaotic when you're boothing a table all by yourself and you're an artist selling your work because you have to deal with a bunch of money, you have to deal with credit card
Oh,
transactions.
speaking
and-
of art,
Yeah.
Geekcraft is officially this weekend. If you guys want to go, we'll be going. So
Oh,
Will we be
okay.
going?
I'd considered
I'll
signing
be
up for
going
that,
at
but they
least.
said, sorry, no more 2D artists. And it's like,
Wow.
oh.
Oh, what are
Yeah.
they, Disney?
Well, no.
Yeah.
What happened was, I think they want to have a quota for like 3D crafts versus 2D print artists
Oh,
versus other
okay.
things. So,
Gotcha.